I am so sorry. Thank you guys for saying that you cannot hear me. Now you can hear me. I am a church consultant, typically teaching on customer service and great hospitality. And so today I've got a session that is for leaders. I am excited about it. Let me know that you guys can hear me now. I believe that you can, but let me check the stream and make sure that you all can hear me. Let's see. I am so sorry. Thank you. Okay, good. I got it. I heard it come up. Good. Thank you, Carol. Glad to see you on, sweetheart. I know it's been a minute. I have been on my own little sabbatical for about 3 weeks. I just took some time off. I finished a major project, I guess March, April, and then I decided that I would take some time off in June. So it's July. So your girl is back. That's right. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Good. Hey, Rosa, glad to see you. Hello, Joan. I am excited. Let me go ahead and put my little graphic back. So you guys know today we're talking about increasing your effectiveness as a leader. I am excited. I have been working. As a matter of fact, I've spoken, excuse me, for a few churches during my downtime. They were already on my calendar, so I wanted to honor my word. So but outside of those clients, I had not done any work, any client projects, but now I'm back. In fact, I'll be traveling next week, so I'll be sharing more about that even before I finish this teaching on today. So here we go. Today again, talking about increasing your effectiveness as a leader. One of the things as a church consultant, when I go in and I work with leaders, I'm always intrigued by the goals that leaders have. Ask yourself this: have you set realistic goals for yourself as it relates to being a leader in ministry? Have you set realistic goals as it relates to yourself as a leader in ministry? Hey, there's Prophet Jay Smith. I am so glad to see you. I was telling them that I have been gone for a month. I took the month of June off, but I am back. I did do some speaking engagements, but I was off of social media, but I'm back. I needed to get just some Robin time. And so I know you appreciate that, Prophet, as a seasoned counselor. And I'm just so excited about everything that God's been doing in your life. So thanks for jumping back on and hanging out with me. But yeah, I had to get some just some Robin time. And so now I'm back. So talking about increasing your effectiveness as a leader. That's really why I stepped away for a month. I lost my mother, lost my father. Just a lot has happened. I'll even say this. I don't want you guys to take this wrong, but I even lost my pastors. So I love my new pastor, so don't take that wrong. But I've been serving with Bishop Morton and Pastor Deborah for the past 13 years. And so, they now have gone into semi-retirement. So I've just had a lot going on as it relates to loss. And so I needed to process that. And so having realistic goals for myself as a leader, I knew that I needed to step away so that I could think, so that I could pray, so that I could read, so that I could, just get the old Robin back. I didn't feel like myself, and I didn't want to just be out here all willy nilly. And so I thank God that your girl had, set some chips aside. So I was able to afford to take that time off and not do, any work, any client projects, outside of what I had already committed myself to do. So I see you guys coming in. Hey, Heather, glad to see you. Oh my God, there's Darnell. So glad to see you. Y'all, we need a P3 reunion. I tell you, y'all keep L'Oreal in your prayers. She lost her mother. I talked to her today. Cedric is showing out on this live, but I talked to him today. I talked to T. Marie. I just been, catching up, talking to people. So I am, glad to be back, and I appreciate everybody's concern about, where are you? Everything you do, you don't have to announce on social media. And that's what I did. I didn't want any questions. I didn't want anybody to, wonder, was I depressed or whatever, I just needed some time for Robin, and I took it. So I had some goals for myself as well, and I achieved those goals as well during my break. But as a leader, do you set time aside to really set goals for yourself, for your ministry assignment? So I take what I do very seriously. Of course, I own my own agency, but also serving in ministry, I take that very serious. During the pandemic, I was there front and center for 2 years. The first, oh, that's Pastor Phyllis. Glad to see you on, sir. For 2 years, I was there. There were at any time, 10 to 20 of us, and I was one of those. So I had always cared about the level of service that I gave my church. And setting goals is one of the reasons that I was able to hold myself accountable. And so that's what I want to challenge you on today. Have you set goals for your role in ministry? Think about that. Setting goals is really, really important, and they don't have to be lofty goals. You don't have to say, I want to lead 1,000 people to Christ. Let's just lead one first. All right. Let's just lead one first. Think about that. What can you do so that you can actually be a disciple? Maybe you want to raise some money for your particular ministry. You don't have to set a goal. I want to, raise $50,000. Let's just raise 1,000 right now, right? But you need goals. Goals guide you. Hey, Rhonda, glad to see you on. And Pastor Francis, glad to see you on as well. It's really important that your goals are realistic. If your goals are realistic or not. It's no issue. I love pie in the sky goals. Those are fine. Those help you to see what's ahead, what's possible. But I want you to deal with what's right in front of you. I want you to set goals that are achievable. Psychologically, as you achieve goals, you build your strength, you build your endurance, you build your confidence. All right? Because you're able to achieve and see that you can do it. And that's what I'm talking about. Hey, Tanya, glad to see you on, sweetheart. That's what I'm talking about. I want you to do something that's right here in front of your face. I want you to have meetings regularly. I want you to have goals of having a meeting once a month. Let's just start there. I want you to have a goal that you're going to have an agenda and you're going to send it out at least 72 hours prior to your meeting. All right? Think about that. That's what I mean by setting goals. Now, let me go on to number 2. I want you to be realistic about what you can achieve. Well, what do you mean, Elder Ware? The Bible says you shall have whatsoever you say, and I'm the head, not the tail. I get it. I can quote the scriptures as well. But faith without works is dead. So I need you to be realistic about what you can achieve. Now, I want you to employ your faith. I want you to activate it. Anybody that knows me, I'm a girl of confessions. That's why I knew when I was running low, my energy level was low. I wasn't feeling excited about getting out of bed. I knew I needed a break. Not only did I lose my parents, but I also have the responsibility of selling their home. Emptying out the house, going through all their personal items. That took a toll on me. I don't care how strong I thought I was, it took a toll on me, and I had to be honest about that. So that's why I was realistic and said, listen, girl, if you're going to be successful in this next season, you all know I always talk about scheduling your wealth. So what I do now, it affects what's going to happen in the next quarter. I knew that I needed to pull back so that I could recharge, I could refresh. Absolutely. Thank you, Prophet J. Smith. It's a lot to process. And my siblings are there. They've helped me. I don't want to make it seem like I took on all the pressure. The 5 tribe, that's what I call, there are 5 of us. We all, have given and contributed to the process, but I've been the one leading in the efforts of flipping the house. And I'm so excited because I announced, I guess like 4 weeks ago, that I had a big announcement coming up. And that was actually the big announcement, is that I have completed the renovation of my parents' home. Even in doing that, I had a goal to do that, but I started that in September. Now, I didn't lose my mother until December, so she knew what was going on. But even in that, from going to September to now, July 1, I'm prayerfully going to get it on the market today. Yes, literally. So hot off the presses today. It's almost been a year. But what was realistic was that I went, and the first trip, we said we were going to empty out the bedrooms. Then I went back. It's not, let me see, it's a 7-hour car ride. So it's not something that I could go and do each weekend. So literally I went month by month by month. I kept going back to my hometown. So we started with the bedrooms. Then we went back and we started with the kitchen, and then we did the living room, all of that. Then I brought in a handyman, and we redid the basement. I had to have I never remember what this thing is called, but we had we put in a drain system in the basement. I forget what it's called, but anyway, that was a hefty investment. And so I was able to, thank God I had savings. So I was able to make those renovations, but it took time. So I set realistic goals. So I'm asking you, are you setting realistic goals? Well, how do you know if they're realistic? Well, are you able to achieve success with your goals within the next week or two? Meaning, for me, working on that house, I was able to, research, find the company that could come in and install the now I got it's gonna make me crazy. The foundation company to install the, I want to say trough, but it's not a trough. Sub pump. Thank you so much, Joanna Gambian. Yes, it was a sub pump. So I had to do the research to find the company that could put in a sub pump. That was a goal that I could achieve. It was realistic. And I felt like I had accomplished something. All right. Some of you may be saying, well, in ministry, we need a new SOP guide for our particular ministry. Standard operating procedure. Well, before you run off and go hire a graphic designer to put it together, I need you to be realistic about what that entails. Do you have to meet with your director of ministries to review what your thoughts are about what your new SOPs will be? Or do you need to meet with the senior pastor to review your thoughts on what the new SOPs will be? Right? You got to be realistic about what your goals are. But here we go. This is really what I want to talk to you about as it relates to increasing your effectiveness as a leader. There are 3 things that will help you to be effective as a leader: time, resources, and capacity. That's right. Let's talk about it. Time. Do you have the time as a leader? I've even had to do this. I had to step back and I had to evaluate the commitment, the time commitment that my position was going to require. Am I able to do that? Well, I travel quite a bit for my job, right? For my agency. So I knew any position that I was responsible for in ministry, I needed to be able to do it just on Sundays, because 99% your girl's always in church on Sundays at home. All right. So I knew that I wouldn't, I couldn't be responsible for something that required me to be able to meet with people during the week. It's not possible. Some of us get in over our heads and we overcommit because we have good hearts. But listen, you got to use your brain too. Yeah, you got to use your brain. Is it wisdom? I know that you want to be a blessing, but there's a such thing as being the right type of blessing. See, when you take on responsibilities that you don't have the time for, you cause people major frustration. You're not available for calls. You're not available for Zoom meetings. You're not available for live meetings. You don't meet deadlines. You can't read. You can't assess what's necessary because you have over committed yourself because of time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in a week, the same 30 days, 31 days in a month, the same 365 days in a year. How about though you deserve balance? And so when you cause a backlog because you've overcommitted yourself, you're not doing anyone a favor. And listen, you got to stop that false humility. Oh, I just want to do what the Lord wants me to do. He wants you to be realistic about your time. Listen, we've been dealing with a major, pandemic. And so people are, slowly coming back to church. We do not want to give people a reason to be frustrated in coming back to church. Well, you're the head greeter, but you're not in place. Who does that? Oh, well, I work all week, so I need some Sundays. So, just missing one Sunday won't hurt. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Listen, y'all know that I'm the customer service and hospitality queen. It is important that we offer great customer service in ministry. And if you're not in place, you are causing a negative impact on your hospitality. What gets measured is what gets done. If you're not there, you don't know what's happening. How in the world can you do your Monday follow-up meetings and you're not there to see how the team played? That doesn't make any sense. So I want you to be realistic about your time. Hey, it's okay. Listen, I literally took the month of June off. I am, Miss Church. But I said after 2 years of working the pandemic, and I had some things I wanted to do for myself personally, I took that time. I didn't, schedule any client projects and, I didn't do any of that. I made sure that I was going to be available to have the time to show up for myself. I wanted the time to show up for myself. And so that's what I did. Now, moving forward, your girl's got a full plate. Praise God for that. But I'm better. I'm refreshed. I'm happy. I'm excited about what's ahead. That's when you are a blessing to ministry. When you can show up as your best self, authentically show up as your best self, right? I love that. Prophet Jay Smith said, I'd rather people be realistic than overcommit. Absolutely. The second thing is resources. Do you have the resources to be an effective leader? Well, what do you mean by resources? Well, there are lots of resources. Do you have the financial means to be an effective leader? When you have meetings, do you have Zoom? Do you have your own Zoom account? Maybe your ministry provides it, but if not, do you have the resources to pay for Zoom? Nothing worse than being on a Zoom and then it shuts down because even though they tell you they give you 45 minutes, it really lasts about 20, right? So, do you have the financial resources to have your own Zoom account so that you can have meetings and not frustrate your team? Do you have the financial resources to bring donuts, coffee, juice on Sunday morning to encourage people to be there early so that you can have some huddle time, prayer time, intercession time with those that labor amongst you? Do you have the resources? Are you going to be begging the pastor to give you $15 to buy donuts and coffee? Listen, sow that seed. You do not need to turn in a reimbursement form for $15. During the pandemic, I'm over the singles at my church. And so I brought in Marcus D. Wiley. We did it virtually, but I paid for that. I paid for that. I had the financial resources to do that. So I sowed that seed. Then when we did the event, we gave people the opportunity to sow into the ministry. But I didn't take any of that money back. I didn't say reimburse me for the money that I paid Marcus D. Wiley. And it wasn't cheap. I mean, I don't want you to think that, he's my friend, so he came on and did it for me, for $50. That's not true at all. No, I had to write a check, but I had the financial resources to do it. So that's the seed that I chose to sow. I'm not saying that you have to do it on that level, but I'm telling you, as God increases you, you're able to do things on that level. So I was excited about being able to do that on that level. All right. So other resources. Do you have books? I wish I left it upstairs, but you know, are you able to purchase books to help you train yourself, to train your team, to do an impartation with the group that you lead? You have to buy the book. What if people on your team can't afford the book? Can you buy it for them? All right. I love that. Prophet Jay Smith said friends get invoices too. Absolutely. Because I want to be paid. So I paid him. So, but the resources, even at your house, I've had meetings here at my house. I fully catered the meeting. Yeah. I went to I forget now, to be honest with you, but I fully catered the meeting. We had a nice, meal for the team that met here at my house. Now that's pre-COVID, but still, that's part of being an effective leader. Let me tell you something. Leadership is built off of relationship. So in order to have relationship, you got to have the resources and the time to connect with people. All right. And then lastly, capacity. Let's just be honest and call a spade a spade. Do you have the capacity to be an effective leader? If your pastor says to you, I want you to lead this particular ministry, do you know how to use Zoom? Like me, using this Switcher Studio system. Do you know how to use technology? Do you know how to put together an agenda? Do you have the capacity to even learn those skills? Doesn't matter that you may not know how to do it right now, but do you have the capacity to learn it? Some people, technology is just not your thing. So you have to be truthful and say, okay, I've got to identify somebody on my team that can handle the technology aspect. Now, if you're building the team from scratch, you're probably not the best person to get it started because that's not in your wheelhouse. I've been working with one of my clients, and I was helping them to get to their media team, their media department, in alignment with the vision of the pastor. So the system that I use, Switcher Studio, is what I introduced them to. And so the person that they gave me, they the one requirement that I said to the pastor was they must have the capacity to either understand technology or have a love for it, love for learning it, because I didn't have the time. They didn't pay me for all that to try to babysit somebody and teach them how to turn something on, how to turn the system on. I needed somebody that understood elements. I needed somebody that understood if I said the word plugins. I needed somebody that understood when I said SEO. I needed someone that either understood it or they were open to it and they embraced it. That's capacity. A lot of times we're ineffective leaders because we just don't have the capacity. I'm telling you, as leaders, we need to check those that we serve with. There are reasons why they're not growing. There are reasons why their teams aren't growing. It could be capacity. They just don't have the capacity. And that's okay. But you have to help people be the best version of themselves. And so you may have to tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, 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 hey. All right. You gotta have the skill set. You gotta have the mindfulness. You gotta be present. You gotta go to that workshop. Here's a workshop you can register for to learn. Oh, I don't want to do any workshops. Oh, I'll go to conference, but girl, I'm not going to do nothing but shop. You don't have the capacity. You don't have the capacity. You know how they say you can check someone's priorities by looking at their checkbook? Well, I say the same thing. You can check their capacity by looking at their search history. What is it you're trying to grow and increase in knowledge with? That's in your search history. Capacity. I love technology. I'm always trying to learn more about technology. You all know that I'm in school. And so even I got a text from the dean asking me about posting some things. The dean knows I love technology. I'm not afraid of it, right? I don't mind putting something up. If I have to change it, I change it. If I have to delete it, I delete it. Doesn't matter, right? I grow. I grow as I go. So I'm always embracing new technology. So, three things: time, resources, and capacity. All right. Oh, I see you, Radiko. I'm so proud of you starting your ministry, man of God. I'm so, so, so proud of you. I definitely got to sow a seed. So, I'm back and I'm on social media. So, I want to make sure I take care of that. But even in that, here I am sowing a seed in another man's ministry, not even my church. But I sow a seed into my bishop. I have for the past, I don't know how long, but every single month I have that financial resource available to do that. Why? Because I'm a giver. As leaders, you got to be willing to sow. You got to be willing to go. You got to be willing to stretch, right? It wasn't always that way, but thank God I built up to that. So now I'm able to be a blessing. My new pastor, oh, he preached a powerful word the last Sunday that I was there. I went to the back and I thanked him and I said, man of God, I gave him that holy Baptist handshake and I put a seed in his hand. Yeah, because he blessed me. Some things I'd been wanting to hear from God, he said them. God used him to speak to me. And so I honored him with a seed. It was as simple as that. So, time, resources, and capacity. It is so important. So, as a leader, I've got great goals. I started this whole teaching with that it is important that you have goals, but goals that are realistic, all right? That are based on the time that you have available, that are based on the resources you have access to, and based on your capacity as a learner. I can't say it any other way. All right. Thank you guys. Let's see. What are you guys saying? Time, resources, capacity. Absolutely. I see you, Prophet Jay Smith. Yep. Every first Sunday. Good stuff. Good. Look, Pastor Roberts now. Good, good, good. Yep. That Holy Ghost handshake. Let me tell you what. God is doing some amazing things with me getting ready to sell my mom and dad's home. It mattered to me that I did the renovations so that I could get the most out of it. That house has never had a mortgage on it. When I tell you I come from good ground, absolutely. Everybody's always talking about generational curses. I talk about generational blessings. And so my parents, as well as my grandparents, didn't have a mortgage on their homes. My grandparents paid cash for cars. Let me tell you something. I am not going to be the one to break that generational blessing. So I'm selling this house. It is going to be a tremendous blessing. The Lord has already led me to my next home that I'm going to be flipping. God is so good. When He sees He can trust you with something small, I'm telling you, He will trust you with something even larger. And the word teaches us, that we have to serve as unto the Lord. That's why I'm teaching you all of this. It matters how you serve, it matters how you lead. All right. Hey, Darius, glad to see you on. Good stuff. I am excited to be back. As I shared, I missed you guys so much. Make sure you're on my email list. If you are not, let me tell you how you could do that. All you have to do is text my last name, WARE, to the number 22828 and follow the prompts. I got some good stuff that I'm going to be offering. As it relates to goal setting, I put together an ebook that is going to help you with time management. How many of you all are like, yes, Robin, I need some help with time management. Time is money. That is true. Time is money. And so I am financially in the position that I am in because I manage my time well. So if you are in agreement, I've got something that's going to help you. My time management, it's about 30 pages. I put it together. See, sometimes you got to step away, yep, so that you can come back strong. So I got some stuff for you. I'll be sending that out even today to my email list. So make sure that you are on it. Okay, let me see. Someone is saying, how did you decide between selling and keeping it to rent? You know, in this season, it is a seller's market. And so since the house never had a mortgage on it and I could afford to invest what it took to, bring it to the level that I believe my mom and dad would be very happy with, um, it would probably take me 20 years to get that money back. Whereas I can sell it and get it back and make a sizable profit in 30 days. So that is why I am selling it and not renting it. So hope that makes sense to you. Yep, market value. I'm telling you, you guys, it's just incredible. I was faithful to my mom and dad. They have lived with me for the past, oh goodness, like 18 years. Yeah, and so I was honored to get to take care of them to their last breath. And so being able to fix up their home, they've been living here 20 years. So being able to fix up their home and redo the basement, new carpet and hardwood floors, y'all. I'm telling you, the Lord made it so that I was able to do those things, and I just wanted to make them proud, even in heaven, smiling down on me and my siblings. And so we all would go up, different ones, but we would go up weeks at a time and do the work. And so, God is faithful. So y'all pray for your girl. I am speaking that I will have supernatural success. The house is going to sell in a day. Let me tell y'all know I'm confession, so I can go forth. But I've already confessed what I believe, and I've got people standing in agreement with me. And so I know that God is a God that he shall not lie. And I know what he has promised to me. So I'm excited to come back and give you guys my testimony. So about the house. Hey there. Good to see you on, Pastor. Late, glad to see you. Good stuff. Um, Anybody else? This has been good. Thank you for showing back up. You didn't have to, but you did. Oh, let me tell you guys this. You all know that I'm in school. I'm working on my MDiv, and I just looked it up. Your girl's got a 4.16 GPA. So I have aced all my classes so far. I am just so godly proud of what the Lord has allowed me to do as a student, and some good things are coming up. So if you are looking to get your Master's of Divinity, hit me up because I would love to be the connection to help you get into Virginia Union University. So into their School of Divinity, of Theology. All right. So thank you guys for hanging out. So good to see you all. And of course, make sure you like the video, share the video, all that good stuff to let people know that you're